Thank you all. It's a pleasure and an honor to be standing here before you today. I thought I would be speaking ahead of the vote, so this is a bit of a request for your affirmation, but we'll have a good time nonetheless. I grew up in a rural farming community about 2.5 hours west of Goshen. And one day, after an exceptionally long bit of time pulling weeds in our huge garden under a sweltering sun, I decided that it was time for me to be done with life on the farm. I had enough of feeding the chickens and cleaning out the barn and all of the toil that came with milking goats. And I decided to pack my bags and run away to, believe it or not, Goshen, Indiana. As I packed, I dreamed of the faraway land of plenty, the glorious big city where my maternal grandparents, aunts, and uncles, and cousins lived. Goshen had everything a kid could dream of. It had a gigantic county fair with rides my cousins seemed to believe were equal to Disney, a huge pool with slides at Shanklin Park, where we swam and played in the summer, the Burger Dairy store down the street from my aunt's house, where my cousin Katina and I would slip and fill our pockets full of candy as much as our allowance could afford. And then there was the old townhouse on 33 that had endless buffets full of the most delicious breakfast foods ever, all the bacon my childhood heart could ever hope to consume. And during the visits, I would often run around the trails at Greencroft, where my grandmother was the head of housekeeping, and my cousins and I would play on-day recreation items designed for the elders there as if it was our own personal playground. Sorry to any elders who were disrupted by our childhood play. But on the day that I packed up my belongings and declared my intent to leave my family and head to the glorious Goshen to live with my grandmother, my parents remained pretty calm in the face of my departure. "Where are you going?" my dad quietly asked as I dragged a heavy suitcase outside. "I'm running away to Goshen," I declared. "How are you going to get there?" "I'll walk," 9-year-old me said. 110 miles is a long way to walk, he said. "It might take you a week or so. You better get started." And then he went back to work, working on our ever-struggling lawnmower. And I heard my mom muse with a chuckle, "I wonder how far she'll get." I wonder indeed. 40-ish years later, on a cold night recently at the end of January 2023, Mayor Stutzman texted me unexpectedly, inviting my husband, Ben, and me to join he and his wife, Maya, to discuss campaign-related stuff. As longtime advocates for the mayor's many successful policies and initiatives, we happily headed to the meeting. It's curious because we didn't know exactly what we're going to be talking about, but we were excited to see how we could contribute to the causes that are so important to us. Little did we realize just how quickly our lives would take an unexpected turn. Indeed, our conversation did include a discussion about campaign stuff, but not in the way that we had anticipated. Shortly after we sat down, Jeremy shared his personal need to conclude his service before the end of his term. And like so many of you, I was initially shocked and totally disappointed that we'd lose such a strong community leader as our mayor. Over the past 8 years, I've seen Goshen take tremendous strides under Jeremy's leadership. The economic, environmental, and quality of place initiatives that he has championed have positioned Goshen for a very bright future. His guidance through numerous unprecedented challenges are a model for any future leader. And while I understand and respect Jeremy's need to conclude his term at this time, I know, as I heard the news, and all of you heard the news, how deeply missed he'll be. On that cold night in late February, Jeremy decided to deliver another heaping helping of surprise. He asked whether I would be willing to step forward as a candidate for interim mayor of Goshen and consider a run for the fall election. See, we did eventually get to election stuff. My initial response to the mayor's inquiry was not unlike the Hebrew biblical story of Moses, who, when asked to lead the Israelites, said in Exodus 4:13, "Oh, my Lord, please send somebody else." My head flooded with reasons to object. The weight of the 24/7 responsibility, the volume of work, the challenge of the massive transition, the divisiveness of politics, even at the local level, and the uncertainty and risk of our livelihoods for our family and all of our employees at the IDAR team gave me tremendous pause. We left that meeting with a lot to contemplate and little time to decide. Jeremy wanted to share his decision with the community as quickly as possible, and the state of the city address was only a few short weeks away. After extensive soul searching, I did eventually arrive at yes, and my reason's simple. I've seen and experienced the dramatic power of a community that comes together to create positive change. I've seen Goshen, in my 30 years here, transform itself into a destination. I've seen creativity flourish. I've seen how entrepreneurs grow and build empires of success. And I've seen Goshen come together in times of crisis. I've seen competitors come together to help each other in order to address our most challenging situations. And every time that I've been able to play a role in bringing people together around a common cause, people who have vastly different agendas and views, I found my deepest sense of purpose. So with a healthy dose of reality about the challenges and the possibilities ahead, I say yes, let's move forward together, Goshen. As a student, I studied writing and communication, and I've always been amazed by the power of words to connect people around the causes that are most important to them. Over the last 3 decades, my passion for communication and my propensity for leadership has opened executive roles for me in 3 major areas. First, in social service and mental health. Second, in manufacturing and technology. And third, in community and small business development. Immediately following college, I worked for an organization that provided services to adults who had developmental disabilities, and many of whom were also dually diagnosed with mental health issues. My role at that organization was to take the grassroots initiative started by local families and develop the policies, procedures, protocols, and systems needed to secure Medicaid licensure, which I did over the 8 years as the Director of Operations. After I completed that project, I was open and ready for a new challenge. I had an opportunity to become the first Director of Communications in one of the largest RV companies in this area. The billion-dollar company had grown quickly, and they had no internal communications or marketing department. I designed and implemented a communications strategy for the organization, coordinating the marketing efforts for more than 20 separate divisions and their 20 separate general managers. Building on that success, I worked for 2 other manufacturers, each time designing, implementing, and organizing a marketing and communications program from the ground up. In 2006, I joined the board of Downtown Goshen, Inc., a Main Street program designed to promote the preservation and promotion of everyone's neighborhood, our historic downtown. A few months after joining the board, I volunteered to help the organization develop a marketing strategy for Downtown Goshen through a coordinated series of events and promotions. By June of 2007, I had successfully raised enough money through participant fees and sponsorship from our generous community to launch a series of events called Goshen First Fridays. Today, more than 200 festivals later, First Fridays has become wildly popular and are estimated to generate more than $1 million in consumer spending in the downtown district each year. But way more important than the dollars is the pride that it brought to Goshen and the way it brings people from all walks of life together and creates a sense of connectedness that we have a reason to gather together. Today, these events continue to be primarily volunteer-driven. In 2007, my husband Ben and I decided to pursue a new business venture. We wanted to utilize our combined skills in marketing, communications, and design to to continue strengthening our city, growing area businesses, and leveraging the arts as an economic driver for the region. In my role at IDAR, I've consulted with multiple schools, colleges, not-for-profits, manufacturers, municipalities, building strategic marketing programs and initiatives. I've raised millions of dollars for investments in Goshen, and we've set the example that the creative class is alive, well, and can thrive in a small Midwestern city. Over the years, my relationship with the city of Goshen has deepened. I've worked with almost every department in some capacity, creating solid partnerships with a skilled city staff that dedicate their lives to serve our community. I've often been called upon to host visiting governors, lieutenant governors, delegations, student tours, and regional partners who want to understand how it is that Goshen has become the place where so many people successfully accomplish the American dream, taking an idea and growing it to success. In the short number of weeks since I decided to step forward as a candidate for interim mayor, I've been asked several times about my vision for Goshen. As the interim mayor, my immediate focus is to ensure the smooth transition and steady continuation of the projects the current administrative team has established. Changing course is not the goal. Should I be approved as the interim mayor, my guiding star will be to complete the good work that has been started and guide the community through this transition with a steady hand. Beyond that, my values will guide my short and long-term priorities. As a Democrat, deeply rooted with Midwestern values, I believe in the value of hard work, doing the right thing, saving for the future, being very friendly and hospitable, and coming together in times of need. My values carry over into my approach for city government. Simply put, I'll work hard, protect what we have, welcome the stranger, and ensure that I leave the city in even better shape than I found it. The community will have an opportunity to observe my work over the next 6 months and decide whether I'm the best fit for Goshen for the next 4 years. If elected, I have 3 short-term and 3 longer-term priorities. For the short term, first and foremost, number 1, robust finances. With discipline and careful planning, Goshen is now well positioned for the future. We've demonstrated that we can work together to ensure reliable city services for every resident. And I will not hesitate to fight for a city at the state and federal level to ensure that every available resource that we invest returns to our community. I'm committed to using modern tools and practices for sustainable economic development and smart growth. Number 2 in the short term, to keep is solid infrastructure. To keep businesses competitive and neighborhoods attractive, Goshen needs state-of-the-art utilities, roads, waste systems, and parks. Goshen has a number of significant infrastructure needs to tackle in the coming years. With a continued focus on our budget, we'll be ready to face those challenges. As we pay attention to all types of infrastructure, I have to pay particular attention to our pedestrian transit. I want to ensure that our neighborhoods, pathways, sidewalks are safe for even our youngest commuters, our students. Number 3 on the short term, integrated public safety. When there's an emergency, there's nothing more important than first responders arriving with proper training and equipment. I'm committed to making regular investments in our public safety resources. I recognize that safety involves a network of supports and partnerships, including social workers, police, firefighters, educators, and healthcare workers. Strong alliances between those safety teams are crucial to ensuring the health and well-being of everyone who lives here. For the long term, my first priority is generational living. Community vibrancy, desirable and affordable housing, beautiful neighborhoods, and a sense of openness are what builds pride and encourages all types of families to establish roots in our community. I'm committed to supporting the quality of place initiatives, parks, trails, public spaces, neighborhoods, and activities that attract and retain generations of talent and the diverse workforce that we need in Goshen. Number 2 in the long term, useful government. I commit to being a leader who seeks opportunities for our administration to improve and incentivize growth while ensuring the public well-being. My years as an entrepreneur and business owner have reinforced the necessity for continuous improvement in every aspect of operation. Innovation and efficiency are necessary tools for delivering quality services to our community, and I want to lead with a focus on being customer-centered, efficient, transparent, and effective in our dealings with the public. And finally, on the long-term priorities, disaster and environmental preparedness. Preparing for environmental change isn't just a nicety, and we all know that. It's an economic necessity for a sustainable community. And we've established many strong initiatives in the city of Goshen. Environmental disaster planning is imperative for our well-being. I take seriously our city's responsibility to care for their environment, to equip us to adapt to inevitable changes, and to build resources for a sustainable community for future generations. To achieve this, we will lead by example, promoting sustainable practices in our city's operations, from paper use to transportation to waste management. From my long ago failed attempt to run away to Goshen, it took me another decade to relocate the 110 miles to Goshen. Since that time, I've established deep roots here. I've had a prosperous career, raised a family, adopted a few strays, and developed lifelong friendships. Goshen is my beloved home. And I'll fight anybody who suggests that it's not the best small city in the Midwest. No matter what the future holds, I'm grateful I made it to Goshen, and I eventually convinced my parents to move here too. I'm thankful to Mayor Stutzman for encouraging me to explore this opportunity to step into this role in our community. It's a tremendous honor to receive your support, your encouragement, and your endorsement. Thanks to my parents. Without your insistence on growing healthy food in our garden, I wouldn't have attempted to run away or have a good story to tell tonight. But more importantly, thank you for teaching me to always leave things better than I found them. Oh. Thanks, Zoe, my daughter, for responding, "Yes, Mama," when I shared the news about considering a candidacy for interim mayor. Your pride, your encouragement, and your enthusiasm helped me to look deeper into the reasons why I should be open to yes. And I'm only here with the mostly unwavering support of my husband, Ben. Thank you for your willingness to upend all of our plans for a calm and relaxing 2023, for restructuring our business and taking on a new role, and for stepping into the unpredictable world of politics. You're the kind of life partner that everybody dreams of having, but few are fortunate to have. And to the community of Goshen at large, thanks for showing me what's possible. We have already, and we will continue to set a new standard of excellence. So caucus members, I was going to ask for your support, but I thank you for your support and your vote of affirmation. I can't foresee the future, but I can guarantee that I will work tirelessly to ensure a smooth transition for our community and our city employees. And I'll do everything I can to make Goshen the best city for future kids who are dreaming of an ideal city to call home.